Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are playing Subnautica. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I hadn't played this game in like 2 years. I didn't know where anything was, but it's been a lot of fun. The challenge for this video is that we are gonna beat hardcore Subnautica, which I've never beaten before. I've never even played it before, so that's a challenge on its own. But we're gonna beat it without ever building an oxygen tank. That's it. No oxygen in the game where you dive underwater. You have to stay tuned to see if we beat it, but it gets a little scary on literally all the points. I stream this all on Twitch, so yeah. But shameless self-promotion aside, let's just jump right into it. Like any playthrough of Subnautica, the first part is remarkably similar. We crash land, get rid of the fire, get out of our base, and go collect some materials to build every single one of those tools that we need, with one exception, the oxygen tank. Now, I didn't know this when I first started this challenge, but the oxygen tank also means that we can't make a rebreather, because you only get the blueprint for the rebreather after you craft a high capacity O2 tank. So yeah, that kind of sucks, but we were just gonna keep pushing on and do this without a rebreather. After making tools, I set out to go find some wrecks and just scan basically as many things as we could. I didn't really know what was gonna be useful and what wasn't, because yeah, it'd been a long time since I played this, and so just going was probably the best decision, and I just tried to scan anything and everything just in case it happened to be useful. Yeah, so this material and scan grind took genuinely 20 minutes, which might be just the fastest time anyone's ever gotten a sea moth, but the speedrunning community has some catching up to do, and, take notes. But we got about as many things as we could in that time. Something I did was I converted a lot of the titanium I got early on into titanium ingots, and that's just because I was thinking about how many ingots we were gonna need, and my guess was like around 4 or 5. It ended up being just slightly more than that, so that was good, I guess. But just making the ingots, it made me feel like I was getting a head start, and I was collecting a ton of titanium anyway, so it just made more sense. That way I wasn't just leaving it there, and I was gonna need titanium, because if there's one thing you know about Subnautica, you can never have too much titanium. You will always need some. It's kind of the fact of life. But yeah, so made a whole lot of titanium ingots. So after doing all that scavenging and eventually making my sea glide, I did even more scavenging. Yeah, but this time in the grassy plateaus, because we could find a little bit more things. I was really looking for laser cutter fragments. Those would be super important. My goal was to kind of get through the Aurora as fast as possible, because I knew that you could find the prawn suit and sea moth parts there. So I was like, I'll just get both of those while I'm at the Aurora, so I don't have to go super deep. Which was a strategy for sure. I don't know if that was the really big strategy that we should have been thinking about. But, that was a strategy that we came up with that ended up going okay. I mean, it's kind of just inefficient. The Seamoth would have been super useful to, breathe, which is only a little bit more difficult in a challenge with no oxygen tanks. So, yeah, mistakes were made. While I'm taking a little radiation dip, I want to mention the 5th tool in my little toolkit, because if you've played Subnautica for very long, you probably have no idea what that is. which is okay because I had no idea what that was until I started doing this challenge. That is an air bladder. It grants you 15 seconds worth of oxygen, or you cannot use that and it'll take you to the surface really fast. I thought that this would be an amazing tool for the challenge because, 15 seconds of oxygen is 1/3 of our total oxygen. So, yeah, I made 3 of them, which doubled our oxygen, legally doubled our oxygen. None of this oxygen tank that we were doing, but so yeah, that's what that is. We went back and gathered some more materials. Subnautica's early game is very riveting, as you can tell. So you might be wondering, why did I get just all the materials I would ever need to fund my own large city? And the answer to that is that we're gonna build a base. I originally made it so that I was only allowed to build 3 bases, which kind of felt arbitrary because it was. But I ended up only building 1 base, so yeah, I don't know. But I love building bases. It's one of my favorite things to do in Minecraft. I play a lot of Grounded and I love doing it there. And yeah, Subnautica is no different. I love building bases in Subnautica, and I figured might as well build one here. I decided to build it right on the edge of the grassy plateau because I thought the scanner room would get a lot of value, which I was correct on. The scanner value ended up being super clutch throughout all of my scavenging needs. So I didn't realize this originally, but when I built it right next to a wreck. So I spent a lot of time going to that wreck, which is where I actually got the scanner room fragments. So shout out to whichever wreck that was. Turned out to be a really good one. It's a lot of just getting materials in the early game. So I apologize, but a lot of this is going super duper fast. So despite literally spending 20 minutes gathering resources, specifically for the scanner room, I didn't have enough resources to build the scanner room. So I had to quickly go and get some more resources, which turned out to be a little annoying, but we got it done. And then, yeah, just sort of grinded that out. Then after that, my main goal was to find a modification station and a moon pool. And I did not really use my scanner room for that, but we did end up using the scanner room a little bit later for some more interesting ideas and applications. As I once again get a little bit of radiation sickness, which has really brought me to lose just all of my health, and I almost dying of not oxygen because no oxygen tank, I want to tell you about those applications. I didn't end up building the scanning chip for the HUD. Instead, I actually use these cameras as you're seeing now, where basically I just camera around and check them. Also, I don't know if this is a known problem in Subnautica, but the outcrops that it was saying that it found on the scanner room, there were no outcrops there. There just weren't any, which was super frustrating, but having the camera meant I didn't have to go and look, see that there weren't any, and then continue moving. So that was a big help. But yeah, that's really how I use the scanning room. I know most people just build the headset chip because it's really good and then be done with it. But, we do things a little bit different here. A little less, how do I put this? A little less efficient, some would say. But yeah, so then we watched the aurora blow up, and that was that. I realized you actually couldn't get into the aurora before it blew up. That's super interesting. After heroically watching the aurora blow up, I decided to go to the aurora. I'd been waiting for it to blow up for a while now.
So that way I could go get the prawn suit and get my Seamoth upgrade parts, because I was waiting for the Seamoth Bay to be open so I could collect those there, because I thought there were 3 of them in there. There's actually only 2, so it was all very, very well, poorly thought out. But so we went over there, collected all the pieces, we got through all the fragments, and then I tried to get in. Now, you'll notice I don't have a propulsion cannon. And it's because I thought that you could make it through the top part without a propulsion cannon. I couldn't do it. I failed a whole lot of times. As it turns out, I learned this way after I did this. You can get through the top of it without a propulsion cannon. I didn't know that. I thought it was impossible. Yeah, so that was a failure. So I built a propulsion cannon, and then after I built my propulsion cannon, I went and I made my way all the way back to the Aurora. After finally making it back to the Aurora, I went through the front door this time because, we had the propulsion cannon, so might as well go through the front door. Made a quick stop to collect my prawn suit. Perfect. Then the Seamoth. I repaired the Aurora. Yes, the chipmunk sounds were lore accurate. That is actually what Ryley sounds like.
And it's not from being able to do anything. Containment breach repaired. Further breaches detected.
Aurora repair. Boink.
And finally collected the black box data.
Oh, I'm taking the miniature Aurora. I'll find space.
When I got back, I went back to the grassy plateau to find one more piece for the Seamoth, because as I said, you only get 2 pieces for the Seamoth in the Seamoth Bay, that you need 3 to create it, even though those are definitely the 2 halves of a Seamoth. So I don't really understand that one, but whatever. And then I did a move that genuinely baffles everyone. I don't know that one person can tell me why I made this move. I made the Seamoth and then decided to take my Sea Glide all the way back to my base to get the depth module and to build the moon pool, to then come all the way back to get my Seamoth. No, I don't know why I did that. No, it was not a smart decision. Yes, I am well aware that it was stupid.
What? Are we serious?
Yeah, so with the Seamoth now in hand, I decided to go to the Jellyshroom Caves. And as you can see, the sea snake was spawn camping the Degassi base. I was so dumbfounded. I had never seen a sea snake in there a single time I've played the game. They've been in the other ones. I've never seen one in that one. I was not very happy about that. Now, back to the actual Jellyshroom Caves, because you may be wondering, why am I here? And the answer is the multipurpose room. I really, 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 really love the multipurpose room. And by activating the multipurpose room, you also get the big room, and modification station for admins were also there, which were super clutch. Love those. The one thing I was not there was for that data disk, because as I learned from on one of my previous attempts, that is a high capacity O2 tank, aka useless with extra steps. So I didn't even try to go for it. I just went in the base so far as I could get the water filtration system, because you always need water. You genuinely always need water. But yeah, that was what I was in the case for. I also picked up some magnetite, but other than that, in, out, not much in there because it really doesn't connect to very much. So what followed after that was, I kid you not, an 1.5 hour long journey of just collecting and scanning fragments. Took so long the sunbeam was going to come save us, as we were just hunting for more fragments to make ourselves a prawn suit. It took a while, but thanks to the power of editing, all of that got snapped away, which means that we are going to skip straight to actually unlocking the prawn suit. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. No, I'm not invincible. With the prawn suit now in hand, I was feeling very strong. Not invincible, and we'll get to why a little bit later. But I was feeling very strong. And with 22 minutes left before the sunbeam arrived, and since we needed to do the mountain stuff anyway, I decided to spend the next 22 minutes collecting resources and building out a bigger base, as well as just making sure I had all the important resources for anything else that we were going to need to do. Which means, you guessed it, one more massive collecting spree on our way to waiting for the sunbeam. So that is a skip. Nope. I don't think that's how that's supposed to work. So I made it to the mountain island with about 1.5 minutes left to go. Found myself a purple tablet, scanned that, picked it up, and then I waited patiently for the sunbeam to arrive, which took genuinely forever. I like to play a game where I try to find out where it is before it's super close to view, and I just never get it right. But, this time we got at least somewhat decent.
Change course. Set thrusters to full.
Yeah. I'm not getting rescued. I mean, you hate to see it, but following that was basically just business as usual. Enter the base, and then go down all the way, get stabbed by just the biggest needle you will ever see in your entire lifetime. Not one that's set up for like this. I'll need to set one up. Following will definitely be internal bleeding in your arm for just the longest time. Leave the base, go to the top of the mountain, get onto the teleporter, and teleport to the other island was the plan. And so that is exactly what we did. And, and things were just working well that day. I don't know what to say. You may be curious as to why we bothered to go to the Degassi base, but the answer is actually very simple. Grow beds. We really needed grow beds, and this place has them. So, yeah, we took the grow beds, and we took a lantern tree to plant it, and that was literally all we needed from this island. Side note, I also got lost on this island. I couldn't find where the teleporter was, so that was a little embarrassing. I had to swim all the way back to base, which was not a good decision. After getting
to
out
say the
and getting
least.
everything, I took my prawn suit to go look for the drill arm, which took me to the bulb zone, and a wreck in the bulb zone where some very interesting things happened. Yo, are we being so for real, bro? Guess we're not going out that way. Yeah, so despite that, I was actually at the just complete wrong wreck. I needed to go to the floating islands and the scary part of the floating islands. So that's where I went, where I had to loot a completely different wreck to find the prawn suit arm I was looking for. It's kind of a hassle, but we ended up getting it done, and everything was hunky-dory. While I was in the area, I decided to grab some blood oil, and I hate getting blood oil. I do not like it because the only places with blood oil have warpers, and I hate the warper. The warper is the most evil creature in this whole game, and it actually has the honor of proving to me that sometimes you can only feel invincible in the prawn suit. Whoa. Oh my god. I didn't even hear him. No, we're out, bro. I didn't even hear him. Oh my. Come on. What? Where did he come from? Safe to say I wasn't very happy when that happened. But we got our 3 blood kelp this time. Then we went and we collected a ton of resources. Came back, chilled with the sea treaders for a little bit because I realized I hadn't seen them since I came back to playing. And, you know, sea treaders are awesome. I love them. It sucks that they're on just the farthest edge of the map. I went over there because I knew they gave me shale outcrops when, you know, they walk. And I literally forgot to pick up any shale outcrops when I was with them. A little bit of an oops on my part, but, you know, chilling with the sea treaders is always a great thing. But, you know, this is Subnautica, and 2 good things cannot go together. So, on my way back, you know, there just decided to be just some random, light, not even very menacing things blocking my way. Oh! No, 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 no. Yeah, despite all my talking, I was okay. What followed next is a very, very, very long grind for more materials where, as you can see, I sped it up to about 100%, and this was about as enjoyable as I can make it without just cutting it all out, but I want you to know it was there. So yeah, we did all that. Lost power in my building for a little bit, made a mod station, and then proceeded to go and guess what? Collect even more resources. Oh yeah. Alright, let's go. Down, down, into the bottomless pit we go. And run. Move! Go, go, go. So, after collecting until I couldn't do it anymore, I decided to head to the Blood Kelp Trench.
Now, I died in the blood cup test last time, so you might be wondering, why am I here? Well, I thought that it was finally time to go down into the Lost River. That's right, we were actually going to do something important for the story. It had only taken like 9 hours to do so. Man, do I work fast. But yeah, so we headed down to the Lost River to hopefully not die, but we needed some nickel to upgrade the prawn suit, and it's just like only place you can get it is the Lost River, unfortunately. So after grabbing the nickel and the crystalline sulfur that I was looking for, I went looking for the alien base that was in there, because it's on your tablet when you pull all that information. What I didn't remember is that this alien base is what we call useless and doesn't actually have anything gameplay-wise. It's all story-related, which don't get me wrong. I love the Subnautica lore. I love this world. This world is awesome. I was really hoping for something that was going to help me in the game, and I just did not find any of that. So following what was essentially a failure, looking for some important things in there, I decided to make my way up.
Oh my... In the wise words of one Martine, oh my diddy days. So I was terrified doing this when I could respawn during the first time I played Subnautica. I'm even more terrified doing this now that I know there's a ton of Leviathans and I can't respawn. Oh. Hello. Hey, buddy. You're not, gonna come eat me, right? Nah, you wouldn't eat me. I'm gonna circle back, alright? I'm gonna go the other way. I see you. This looks like your territory, and I respect that. I'm going this way.
So after heroically and valiantly taking a different path than the one with the Leviathan, I had to get creative and do some parkour to get up this waterfall without my prawn, because I was pretty sure if I left my prawn here, I wasn't going to be able to get back up, which would be death, and I am not doing death. Death is not good. So after failing some parkour for a little bit, we eventually got up and got out. The reason we're getting out is 1, to make the jump jet upgrade, which would be super useful, and 2, to make the depth module so we can go all the way to the lava zone. So what followed next was a very quick resource grind to make sure I could get all of the things. And then after I plugged in my modules to make sure I got everything I wanted, all that was left to do was go all the way back down, which takes just way too long. But yeah, so we went back down to the Lost River, which was fine, nothing too crazy happened there. One of the few times we had a super non-crazy event going on in Lost River. Stopped by the Cove Tree for a little bit, and then headed down into the lava zone looking for that lava base, which, was always destined to be fun. other than that little piece of excitement from the sea dragon, found the base, collected the blue tablet, and then went back home for a little bit because I needed to upgrade my Cyclops depth module one more time because we were heading even deeper down, and the Cyclops wasn't ready for that. But holy moly, bruh, if I was not so tense throughout all of this portions, bruh. There were warpers freaking everywhere. And I know that this reinforced dive suit that I was wearing might save me from the lava, but it ain't gonna save me from most of the things in the lava zone. But luckily, we were okay. It took me a little bit to find the base, but after I found the base, it really wasn't that bad. But yeah, jeez, man. It was a relatively quick journey down since we could just, go from the lava alien outpost, but we made it down in record-setting time, hour 11 and a half, if I remember correctly, and went to the alien containment to see the Sea Emperor. There was a little bit of a worry here that I was actually not going to be able to do it because I don't have much oxygen, and even in her pool, we're taking negative 30 oxygen drain per second when we're in the water. But luckily, I was able to bring my prawn suit in, and then I had to scavenge for some ion cubes because I didn't bring any with me, and I genuinely just thought that the ion cube that was up there wasn't drillable, but it totally was, and we got it. So as it turns out, I'm just not very smart. So to make the hatching enzyme, I needed to go collect some plant samples from just a ton of random places, in which I took another hour to do, but thanks to the power of editing, you get to see them all in quick succession. Yeah, one note, the super rare one, the first one, is super hard to find out in the wild. The sea crown is what it's called, but it's totally just in her aquarium, and I didn't realize that. So yeah, as it turns out, I'm just not very smart. But yeah, so you totally just could have gone to her aquarium to get the sea crown, but instead I had to find one real one, which took me forever. I eventually found one actually in the bulb zone where I first got my thing, so if I just paid slightly more attention when I was there, I could have gotten the sea crown too, which is fine. And then I had to go back to base to make the enzyme, but eventually we got all the things, we got the enzyme crafted, and everything was Gucci and Louis, but definitely not Prada. After they hatched, they went immediately swam towards their mom, and I had to take the longest time scanning them ever, but we scanned them. They produced some of that enzyme 42 and cured me of the Kura bacteria, and life was back on easy street where we want it to be. Let's frickin' go. If I start drowning, I'm gonna be pissed. It kind of sounds like I'm drowning. It kind of sounds like I did all this just to drown at the very end. No.
Self-scan complete. Vital signs normal. No remaining sign of bacterial infection.
With the bacteria cured, all that was left to do now was to go turn off the ultimate ray gun, which we did very effortlessly by getting stabbed with the biggest needle, causing just nothing but the most internal bleeding a second time. Shout out to the architects.
I hope I got enough of the rare things. Okay.
So after making it back, I decided that the best thing to do was to go and just immediately try to leave because, oh my god, I was so ready to get off 4546B and finish this challenge. All we had to do now was build the Neptune rocket, and I immediately didn't have enough titanium ingots to build the platform, which is never a good sign to start out with, but, we had to go and find some metal salvage, but it was all good because, titanium is everywhere. You just never have enough of it.
There it is. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, build it up. Build it up.
After that, the next thing that we had to build was the boosters, which we were gonna do super, super duper quickly because, I'm the GOAT, and definitely not because I just edited out all of the resource grind that I had to go through to find each of these parts.
Oh, look at it. Yeah. Crystalline sulfur, huh? Crystalline sulfur, huh?
So my reaction to that might tell you everything you need to know. I didn't have any crystalline sulfur left, so I had to go all the way back to the Lost River. It was all very tragic, but at the end of the day, come on, we made it all the way to the lava zone. Going back to the Lost River, that's child's play.
But that was the power cells. They got good usage. Build it up. We'll watch it. Build it up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's freaking go. Oh, it looks good. That is a big rocket. So constructing. Oh, it says Neptune. Okay. Cyclops shield generator. Interesting you say that, because that means we gotta build the Cyclops.
So obviously I did not know we needed the Cyclops shield generator because I never even bothered to build the Cyclops. So I had to go build the Cyclops, which took just a little bit of time because I didn't have any of those resources. Needing more plasteel ingots might just be the death of me. But we did that.
But yeah, there it was. Okay.
Only experienced townspeople should attempt to pilot this vehicle solo.
Boom. There it is.
With the Cyclops done, all we had to do was just enter the Cyclops and make the shield generator, and everything was going to work perfectly. Ourselves. Oh no, where is the shield generator, bro? What? What do you mean ingredients unknown? Don't care about the sonar upgrade. Oh my god, no. Yeah, so I needed to find the shield generator. Long story short, after a whole lot of searching, it was in the Degassi base. I'm gonna go zoom through this all very quickly because this video is already long as is. But yeah, I hadn't found it. It took me genuinely like 40 minutes to find, but everything turned out to be okay afterwards. Pow. Okay. I take off all the blueprints. The whole extended family of a bone shark. Alright. Boom! Boom! The Neptune rockets. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Neptune 1 rocket online.
With that, the Neptune 1 rocket was built. All I had to do was turn it into just the ugliest color I could make it. Apparently, I was trying to keep it on brand with the whole saltine cracker thing, and it just came out looking uggs, man. I failed, okay? I failed on my goal, but you know what? Other than that, it was done.
Systems are go for liftoff.
I mean, we gotta prepare the time capsule there. Okay. Yeah. Yup. Yup. And give him the dead battery. I like it. Wait.
Typing on Xbox takes a little while, so the message actually took me forever to write, and it doesn't appear while I'm writing it, so you get a little voiceover written. All I put was no oxygen tank needed, and that is the importance of this message.
I'm selecting this photo. Oh, it's perfect.
Time capsule
Okay.
ready.
Let's go.
Ready to launch on your command, Captain. Launch in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time capsule jettison. Caution, approaching orbital debris field. Orbital debris field clear. Performing gravity turn maneuver. Confirm destination coordinates. Nearest interstellar phase gate. Engaging ion boosters in 3, 2, 1.
What is a wave without the ocean? A beginning without an end. They are different, but they go together. Now you go among the stars, and I fall among the sand. We are different, but we go together.
Thank you guys for watching. This has been Hardcore Subnautica. I'll see you in the next one.